In my last video, I talked about how to set up a simple JavaFX project and have Maven run with that. And I also talked a bit about modules and why I wanted to remove that for beginners. So this video is all about understanding what the build process is all about, and also understand basically what Maven is and why Maven is superior to the standard build system in IntelliJ. So let's start out by looking at the project I created in my last video. So in here I have some files. It's important to notice that we have something called idea, and this one is should be a hidden folder for the different configurations of the project, which I don't want to change. I'm changing that through the user interface here, so I'm going to leave that. This is for Maven, so these are some protected also Maven files for setting up Maven and stuff like that. And this can also be set up from in here. Maven is over here. I can set up different stuff here. I'm not going to do that right now, but there's a lot of stuff setting up here. And then comes the interesting parts, the SRC folder, which stands for source. And this is my folder. This is where I do my work. So in here, I put my code, and this is the code that I see here, the code that actually does what I want the program to do. Then there's another folder that has another color called target, and this is actually where the program, when it's finished, it goes here. So it's kind of assembling all of the source files, and then I assemble the source files, and then these are put together and compiled and put into target. So we can see if we go into source files, I have like something called resources, and I have something called Java, and then I have DK, ESV, demo, and these are the package. And then I can see I have two files here, which are both like this Java file here and this Java file here. And then I have this fxml file here, which is what I see on the screen. It's kind of like how to set up when I run the program, how to set up the window, and all this kind of stuff. So all of this is like standard stuff. The special thing to notice if you tried anything else than Maven is that you have to put everything that's not code needs to be in the resources folder. So you cannot see, but this is actually a .java. You can see here .java. So this is a Java file. So you can only put Java files within this Java folder here, which kind of makes sense. So everything that you have, like other kinds of files, if you had like an image or a text file or anything like that, you should put them into resources. So what Maven does is it takes something like this, which is like human readable text, maybe not too readable if you're just starting out, but it's human readable text. And it then converts it into some binary code that your computer can understand. And it does that automatically when you press the play button, and after converting it into something the computer understands, it then runs the program from what the computer understands. So if we look at the target process, a target folder, we can see here that it creates classes, it creates DK, EASV, it copies the file because it doesn't need to compile this file. This is just left as is. Same if you put an image here, it wouldn't try to change that into something the computer understands. It's just an image, and this is just a text file, so it keeps it like that. And then this one, hello application, you cannot see the last name of the file, but it says here it's a .class file. So it converts this Java file into a class file. And if we open this up, it will try to recompile it. So I'm not going to do that. It tries to change it back into its original. But really, if we open it up, I don't know if we can do that in here. Open it as a binary file. I'm not sure we can do that. But if I open this file up in a normal text editor like Notepad here, it's going to look weird. Let's see if I can do that directly. I'm not sure. Couldn't do that. But you just see some gibberish because it's a compiled file. So it's in a binary format, a format the computer understands. So this is what Maven does. It kind of takes everything, compiles it into this bunch of files here. So this is, it creates this target folder, and then it runs the different, it runs java.exe, which is Java itself. So it runs that program with these, you can see the different commands that it uses here. So all in all, it takes all of this from the targets and it puts it into a single file called jar file, and then it runs that jar file. So that's pretty nice. This jar file is kind of like a zip file with these class files in it and a descriptor that tells it how to open it. But you don't need to think about that, because this is what the Maven build system does for you. You can do the same thing without using Maven. So why should you use Maven? Because if I open up, I don't want to do that, but if I open up a new project and I don't choose Maven, but just use the default IntelliJ build system, then you will see that it runs exactly the same way, except you don't have this resource folder. Everything is just in one place here. There is, though, one big difference that I think is important and why I would recommend using Maven, and that is other libraries. So sometimes when we are programming, we need another library for something. Like sometimes I might want to use some kind of encryption, or I want to convert an image from one format to another. Maybe I want to read a text file and set it up, convert it into, let's say, an XML file, or maybe I want to make a computer game. So if I want to do that, I need to add something here. I need to add some libraries, and you can see there's a lot of libraries here already. So there are different ways in IntelliJ to add libraries. One of the ways we can do that is that we can go into the project. So if I can find the project here, project structure, I can then go into libraries, and then I can click plus, and then I can click Java, and then I can find the file on my computer, or I can click from Maven, and I can download it from, not Maven. Maven is the build system, but Maven's repository online. So it goes to an online repository, and then, for example, if I want to connect to a database, I can go to Microsoft JDBC, I think something is called that. I have to search for that. If I remember correctly, maybe I don't know. I can't remember, then let's try searching Microsoft. Should be something. See if it finds anything. But this is the normal process if I want to add something in here. You can see there is a lot of stuff here Microsoft made that we can add. Here is, let's see if I can find SQL Server. Yeah, this was the one. So here I can go a driver. If I want to connect to a SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server, I can take a driver here. Take the newest one. Let's just go for, let's see, this one. These are previews, so I'll go for this one. And if I then say, okay, I want to download it, it will also download it to my computer. And transitive dependencies, it will then also download all the files that it needs to. Sometimes this library uses other libraries, so here we can download those as well, and I click OK. So what it does then, it downloads it, and then we add it to the project, and now it is here. So now I've added it to the project, now it's here, so now I can actually connect to a database with this cool little driver here if I know how to do that. But the problem is that if I didn't want to share this with one of my colleagues or one of my fellow students or a friend or anything like that, it's not very nice that I have it under libraries here, because it will then be like a binary file that sits here. And if the person that I share this with doesn't have this file, then it won't actually work. Then I will get an error. So one of the things that Maven solves this is only one of the things. It's like a complex build system, but one of the things it can also do is that it has this cool POM file. So inside of the POM file, there is something here called dependencies. So inside of dependencies, we can say this program is depending on other libraries and then automatically download them if they are not present on the computer. So now the only thing I need to do when I share this with a colleague is I share the POM file and then I have the dependencies here. So it seems a bit hard, but IntelliJ helps. So if I say dependency, sorry, I don't need to write too much. Then it says I need a group ID, and now I remember it was com, and then Microsoft, and then I wanted to go for a SQL Server. And then I think it was something, I can't remember the correct path. If you are in doubt of this, you can also, look it up. Let's see, maybe I can find, wasn't it SQL? Yeah, I don't remember right now. But you can go, let's say it's this one that you want, right? You just double click and then you need to also to put a version here. Doesn't have any suggestions for that. If you're in doubt with these things, you can look them up online, right? But you can set up your dependency here. And that's really cool. So here it says it's depending on OpenJFX. I do know I set this up using the Liberica full, which already includes it. So basically I should be able to also remove that part because I don't need it and still be able to run the program. So, but yeah, so you can set up all your dependencies. So the problem is, and then you don't need to manage having binary files here on your computer. It will also automatically download the dependencies that you need for your project. So I think this is the biggest thing when you're starting out. One important thing for you that you will actually gain a lot from, that you have this file that you can add easily dependencies here. So how do you add a dependency? Because I said, okay, you can just, find it on Google. So if I just go search for it, like something like JDBC, Microsoft, SQL Server, and then Maven, then go Maven repository, click the one that I want. Let's say, what should I take? Like just one of the ones with the newer versions of Java, this one. This is the newest one. You can see I can just, here is like the dependency right here. So I just go back here and then I can copy paste it in here and then it needs to do something. It says some problem here though. Not sure what that is. The version. Okay. It says not found. Okay, so maybe it needs some internet connection or something like that. I'm not sure. But anyway, this is the way to do it, right? You put it in like this, and then it should go look it up. Yeah. That's basically what I wanted to talk about. Last thing might be that you can also set up a lot of stuff, different ways here that you can set up things like testing, and you can set up different kind of plugins that will help you build your program and stuff like that. You can do verifications, you can clean, you can do run different commands here. All of this stuff you can set up, but I think for now, don't worry about it. It's for kind of like bigger kind of projects. As long as you can just click play for now, you should be happy and know that the dependencies here is something that you can set up. Yeah. So thank you for watching. And yeah, I think that's it.